Many people were convinced that the end of the world was going to be December 21st, 2012. However, they were off by just over a year. The real determination of the end of the world is going to be December 23rd, 2013. This is when the central bank in the United States, the so-called Federal Reserve's charter, runs out. The international and global elite have been ruling with an iron fist, using the Federal Reserve as a means to control the United States government and people, in spite of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Now we saw in November a dog and pony show with their re-election of bareback Obama. It was totally irrelevant who got into office, Romney or Obama, because both were bought and paid for by the ruling elite, those who will really rule behind the scenes, the international banking cartel. As the so-called elite are taking the world to a totalitarian, non-elected, non-representative global government, the election was just a distraction to direct people's attention away from the real issue. Who is going to vote to renew or let lapse the elite's Federal Reserve scheme? Did you know that the Federal Reserve does not answer to Congress, the President, or the judiciary? It does not answer to the American people. They thumb their nose to each and every one of the United States, the Congress, and even the Supreme Court.
$1 trillion a year is what I'm saying, is what the current deficit is.
Right, but is the interest cost on that, if it would be $100 billion a year, we're talking about a trillion over 10 years. I mean, we are talking real money.
Trillion there, trillion here.
Now is our chance, and the window of opportunity is closing fast. We can subvert their evil designs of this global elite and frustrate these perverse genocidal maniacs' plans. Start today to inform everyone you know of our grand design. Now is the time to make Congress listen to the people, because this is the one that really counts. Make sure your representatives understand the ramifications of renewing the Federal Reserve's charter. Give him or her examples of the arrogance of the leadership of the Federal Reserve in stating that the Federal Reserve is beholden to no one in Congress, including your representatives. Make it brutally clear that not only is your representative's career on the line, in the event he or she should even consider renewing the charter, worldwide freedom hangs in the balance unless we are able to terminate the Fed. But democracy in the world depends on the termination of the Fed. Remind them of the financial manipulation that occurred prior to the fraud perpetrated upon the American people on that fateful day, December 23, 1913. Inform them that the global elite will cause the greatest financial catastrophe ever in the history of mankind, just so they can continue to control the financial system of the United States. However, this will not be a real problem, because Congress will assume its responsibility to provide the financial system of the United States and resume the responsibility to print money for the United States, and tell the global elite to take their Federal Reserve back to hell from whence it came. That Congress will print the real money of the United States from now on. Please be polite but firm, and make your representatives understand that either the Federal Reserve is terminated or your representatives will be impeached and tried for treason. Consider what interval you can contact your representatives, be that every 2 weeks or the very greatest interval every month, to remind them of their duty, until the vote is cast to terminate the Federal Reserve. Inform and enroll everyone you know to help save our republic and restore the United States to its former glory before the intervention and sequester of the global elite using the Fed. Many ill-informed people will claim that Congress could never be responsible enough to be put in charge of the financial system of the United States. Remind them that the Federal Reserve stole over $30 trillion. Not 30 billion, $30 trillion. Could Congress do a worse job? Of course not. The choice is ours. Do we let an arrogant, rogue international mafia beholden to no one in the United States continue to destroy the United States, or do we let Congress do their job? A Congress that is beholden to the people to control the money supply of the United States.